Today we're playing a deck that has a similar game plan to the tried and true red-green Titan, where you turn some weak cards into a game win. Instead of turning our 1/1 creatures into a Titan, preferably on turn 3, we're going for a little bit longer of a game plan. This time, our combo is to Indomitable Creativity, creatures, or, which is very important, artifacts, and we need to do it for X = 2. And when we do that, we put Xenagos and Worldspine Worms, since those are the only creatures and or artifacts in our deck. And Xenagos will give Worldspine Worm haste. It'll become a 30/30 with trample, and barring our opponent having a pretty decent amount of blockers, we will just win the game on the spot. Now, as I alluded to, this deck has some pretty key differences to red-green transmog. Ditching the green, technically, since we don't have any green sources, you lose access to some decent value in Chariot, so your mid-range plan is a little bit worse off. But what you lose in mid-range, you certainly get in matchups like Control and Devotion, since you run 4 Fatal Push, 4 Thoughtseize, and then a sideboard full of hand attack. Your matchup versus Control is sure to be improved. You do run some very interesting token generations in Vampire's Kiss, which makes 2 blood tokens and also drains for 2. Helps you stave off aggro a little bit, and just for 2 mana gives you the 2 requisite tokens you need. Doesn't ramp you though. You run Rotten Reunion, which is an instant that acts as incidental graveyard hate, gets 2 uses, which makes it pretty great into the Greasefang matchup, since even if they Thoughtseize it, you can still flash it back, and they don't really have anything for that game 1. Maybe game 2 they bring in Unlicensed Hearse, but that's fine by me. You also run Deadly Dispute, a little less for the token generation, since you have to sack a token for it, but it's great for card draw as an instant, and it helps you dodge removal that's normally targeting your Kiki token. Then you run Seize the Spoils, which is a sorcery speed version of this effect. There's a ton of these cards. I think there are like 4 cards that are like this, that for you discard a card as cost, draw 2, make a treasure. There's some where you pay 4, you discard a card and make 2 treasures, but you're going to be hoping to play this on turn 3 and get this on turn 5. So the decks that generally run the 4 mana ones are the blue-red decks that are okay with going long. We are still trying to combo kill our opponent. We're not just trying to put a Torrential Gearhulk and like Magma Opus our opponent. So Seize the Spoils makes a little bit more sense. Sideboard, there's just a ton of hand attack. Duress and Go Blank are good for slightly different decks. Duress is good into Control and combo, as is Thought Distortion. Go Blank is good into decks like Phoenix. We're not running Hearse, so this is our Hearse analog. Rending Volleys, they're just really good into a lot of matchups. Mainly, we're going to be bringing these into Greasefang, as well as Heroic and Humans, as well as Spirits. And then Path of Peril, we don't have the white source, but 3 mana destroy all creatures with CMC 2 or less is still great. We don't really have any creatures we really care about losing. Sure, we wouldn't love to lose our Decayed Zombie or our Kiki token, but the decks we bring it in against are going to hate it even more. And then Anger, for similar reasons. It's better versus Rakdos, since this doesn't hit Mam Devil, but it's conditional. So I'm hopeful that the different matchup spread can help us take down some of our demons, which Mono Green and Control certainly are, for Red-Green Titan at least. But that's enough talking, and I will see you in match number 1. Alright, so we find ourselves going first in match number 1. No companion, and not a keepable hand. With Worldspine, you can normally discard it, since it gets shuffled back if it ever hits the graveyard, but we just have a 1-lander, so I'm not going to keep a hand like that. This is a pretty solid hand. We're still looking for a third land, but our situation is still pretty good. And I guess we do run some green sources just in case, but it's not the primary goal. I'll probably put back second Fable. Dispute can be good later on, sacking our treasures. Feels nice to be the person turn one thought seizing. Okay, looks like we're versus either Phoenix or the more control-y version of this. We could take Opt, we could take Impulse. I kind of want to take them off threats. Their hand kind of doesn't do much, and we're not playing into it very much. So I'm just going to take their threat. They're just going to opt end a turn. Okay, very happy to see that one. We can't really dispute or anything, and no Fire Prophecy target. There's no reason to ever put that on black while we have the Urborg, so we'll just put it on red. Play it a little passively. And I could have played the Stomping Ground, but I want to play around them drawing into the bird, which they have a couple looks for. I just want to be able to kill it before it gets out of hand. Okay, nothing from them, so nothing from us. And they drew that mountain. Sorry, Cling to Dust, not Crackling Drake. Cling to Dust is quite a good card to see, specifically into this matchup. I mean, it's a cantrip, it's life gain, but we're not going to do it right now. We're going to go for our Fable, which will just die to their Fire Impulse, but I like the cycling, and in 2 turns we can sack it to Deadly Dispute to draw a couple. Consider. I am curious if this is Phoenix or the Is It Control still, since that's not yet shown by just what we've seen. They're not giving us any more information. Okay. Impulse. Sounds good. I'm going to try and dig for a 4th land. Xenagos, that's quite bad. But I'm at least going to discard Cling, probably also Dispute. That's really funny. Yeah, not great. I won't lie. That wasn't great, since we don't have pretty much anything. But if they play a creature, we're just going to Fire Prophecy, put Xenagos back on bottom. I think this list is running... It's running 4 Valakut Awakenings, and I forget how many Fire Prophecies are in it. But it has a lot more ways to put the cards back on bottom, since barring this exact Stomping Ground, there's no way to cast Xenagos. Censor. Okay, so they do look like they might be the more control-y version. I'd love if they played the bird here. Nothing else from them. We do get a land. Flip that around. Play it on the only side that we would ever want to play it on. So we still know about Strangle Island. I don't really see a reason to fire the Deadly Dispute off now. Is this Shark Typhoon? Dig through time, okay. I'm feeling somewhat motivated to at least go for the first Deadly Dispute here. The Fable is not as good in this version. Okay, so we're at least running 3 Fire Prophecy, probably 4. Anyway, the Fable backside is not as good, since we already have a 30-point combo. I mean, it's still pretty good. And we could have waited for them to go for the Strangle, which we would have expected, but I like this path a little bit more. End of turn, we'll probably go for the Prophecy. It's likely they have a way to blanket, but I'm more hoping to put the Xenagos on bottom. So, but we can always do that on our turn. I think I'll Dispute. If this baits out a counterspell, that's fine, but then we can't kill this. Okay, nothing further. Land is nice. Probably go for the kill here. Would love to put that on bottom. They can double spell, absolutely. Okay, they're just bouncing it to our hand. Yeah, that's fine. And they'll probably learn for like the 7-drop or the 2-drop. The 2-drop it is. They obviously would get the Connive if we do that during our turn now. So I'm just going to do it in upkeep. I don't really want to do anything else now. And this one's just better to tap. It could have been right to go for Seize since we do have to discard, but I'm good with this play as well. We just really need to put the Xenagos on bottom before we do anything else. And doing this upkeep kind of stresses them, since do they want to do anything? Tap out, cast 2 spells, then they might just lose to the creativity. Can remove that upkeep stop. There's no reason to be rude to them. The Drake. Yep. They draw a card. Another land. They abrade. We might as well sacrifice this. We'll sack it for black here. Not the strongest abrade I've ever seen in my life, but it's still annoying, I guess. I'll take out a Ledger Shredder here. No, I still want the draw. I was thinking like, because it doesn't affect Crackling Drake, but I want the draw over the 3 life here. So we'll take out Dig Through Time, just in case they run like the most random Torrential Gearhulk you've ever seen. Really looking for some token generators. That's not one of them. I'll seize the spoils here. Discard one of the creativities. Push is really good here. I hate that we have to crack a treasure token for it, but we can also hold on to that. But it's still like pretty good here. We don't have Revolt. Let me just verify. It's not going to tell me unless I... What did I do? I discarded... Yeah, I discarded Creativity to cast Seize the Spoil, so I don't have Revolt. Unless I'm missing something. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. It normally should give me the prompt of 2 or lower, but it's not giving me that. I guess that's because I didn't have Revolt. So we'll do that. I probably will just put Sekenzin down here. We have better token generators. We have a pretty hefty graveyard. Some good removal. We have a lot of... Yeah, like the... Shoot, I'm so bad with the names. The black instant that exiles cards and makes zombies. That'd be a great draw. Another Drake. Not great. Bird? Or are they drawing 7? I don't think they have the mana for it. Or drawing 3, I mean. And this is 4 to flashback still, yep. Haunted Ridge is nice. I think I'll probably cling right now. Doesn't really matter. Okay. We'll cling, draw, unless they want to counter this, which, you know, I don't really care if they do. Push. Be better if that were revolted, but it is not. So it looks like we're taking a 7 or 8 or 9, depends on what they're doing here. I'm thinking like I might creativity that Crackling Drake. Since we are just looking for some tokens now. Dig through time, that's fine. They still have Strangle and Environmental Sciences in hand, but we're not going to give them a target if we can avoid it. Okay, looks like we're just taking 8 here. Still bad. Nothing else from them. Just another land. That's not great. I'm going to turn the creativity. We have 2 of them. Probably was a mistake to do the Sekensen there, but I was hoping we'd draw more lands. We can pay for any other tax effects. And I hope this turns into not a Crackling Drake. I'm hoping it turns into a bird. If it turns into Niv, I'm going to just concede. But no matter what, we'll probably see a good 10 cards of their deck. They just divide by 0? Okay. Do it again. Spell Pierce. Okay. Well, we do lose here, unfortunately. They made the right call by doing that. Would have liked to see more of their deck, but we didn't draw the token portion. Or we did, but I kind of squandered it earlier. Regardless, they do look like they're the control version. I still think I want Go Blanks here, even though they don't really like do a ton versus their Drakes. Running Volley is better than Fire Prophecy, even though it doesn't put stuff on the bottom. It's more efficient. Push is fine. Cling is fine. This is really good. I want that one. I don't want to reduce our token generation by a ton. But we can probably cut one Seize the Spoils since they run counter spells. And I kind of waffle on the Thought Seizes versus Phoenix. That's kind of a point of debate for me. But I think with Go Blank, it's okay to keep a couple. Maybe trim one. Cling's still good, Push still good, Run Reunion. Guess, yeah. I'm going to try this. Consideration for Thought Distortion, since they're mostly non-creatures. But I think it's a little bit pricey. And I'd rather just kill them. And we do still have Thoughtseize. But I'll see you then. Okay, didn't take very long. Yeah, very keepable hand. We got the lands, we got some token. But we don't have turn 1 or turn 2 Thoughtseize, and that's okay. They don't really have anything we need to Thoughtseize turn 1 anyway. Another push. That's fine, not great. Pretty removal heavy hand, as you might expect for a Rakdos deck. Just an opt. No bird, that's fine. Couldn't push it anyway. Kiss is pretty good here. Allows us to start cycling. Would love another black source here. I think I'll go for the kiss here. We can't pay for Spell Pierce, but I do want to start cycling if we're given the option. Okay. I'll probably cycle a push here. And again, I hate to get rid of our tokens, but I think we kind of have need for it with this hand. No creativity, no more card draw. And we do still have 2 more tokens that we can make with Reunion. Just sending it back to us. Pitch a push. Draw dispute. That's pretty good. Would love a land here. Great. Another black source too. I think I will go for the Thoughtseize here. Okay, opponent. So you're about to do nothing for the remainder of the game, I guess? They took literally the most passive hand you've ever seen. I think I want to take either D-Stroke or Divide by Zero. Honestly, Divide by Zero is pretty bad, but they've already got 2, so probably just a D-Stroke. Rather at least hold on to the card when they counter it. Pull up their hand again. If they cycle a Censor, we're going to go for a Dispute here. Okay. We'll do it now since we know that they don't have anything that can counter the Dispute. As long as we do it first. I'd rather be able to like Rotten Reunion first, but not only do we not have the mana for that, we also just don't have black for it. But I'll get my 2 draw. Pretty good too. I mean, no lands, but pretty good too. But yeah, our opponent is definitely not putting a Clinic in Aggression on. Nor are we, though. So, who am I to judge? Okay, that was one of their 3 draws. I don't see a reason to ever do these now. I think I'll just pass back. Probably going to Rotten Reunion, one of their cards. If they tap out, I'll do that. Rotten Reunion and then Dispute. Okay, they just play not get blown out by tapping below Divide by Zero game. Okay, we knew about that one. So I think I'll Cling since they're just going to hold open mana. I can even target my own since they could have Dig Through Time, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I want the card draw and Incidental Hate against them. And if they tap the 2, they can still Divide by Zero. Land is good. Take another one out of their graveyard. It's funny artwork. This whole cycle is pretty cool, but Decayed as a mechanic is not too great. Even so, we're going to make it work for us. Chew a little bit of their graveyard apart. I'm not going to use the treasure token here. Play Haunted Ridge. Would love to attack, but we just lose it, so... We technically have lethal on board, but they have 2 Divide by Zeros, so we never get through with that. And Decayed, for those that don't know, it can't block and it dies if it attacks at the end of combat. So that's why we're not attacking. Definitely a slower game than I'm used to. Consider. We can just cling them end of turn if we need to. We'd also lose our Rotten Reunion, so probably not going to do that unless they allow us to kill one of their things. But it's an option, just not a good one. I'll go for the Dispute here. It'll get bounced to our hand, and then we can Rotten Reunion probably afterwards. They're just not going to bite. That's fine. Well, I'll bite there. Make another guy. Another Thoughtseize effect would be quite good here. Blood Crypt is fine. Kiss him. We now can attack with a zombie token, but it's more valuable, I think, as a just being there than it would be as just 2 damage, because again we're trying to kill them in one fell swoop. So we'll start clinging them in end steps to just dig through Thoughtseize. Are they tapping out? That's fine. Dig through time, probably. Yep, that's fine. I'm not going to commit anything here. Maybe it's wrong to take out the Thoughtseize effects in this matchup because they're not Phoenix. So I'll probably rectify that if we get a game 3, which we should, assuming I don't time out. I'm just going to yield through the turn. Definitely like this build. It's very interesting having access to a different combo plan, and black instead of green has a lot of advantages. Rakdos is one of the best decks for a lot of reasons, and Thoughtseize and Fatal Push are certainly 2 of them. Okay, they just take their cards, play a land, Ledger Shredder. I don't really see a reason to push it here. I'm going to cling the dig. Get another card draw. Very good in these grindy games. Hey, maybe they'll return it to our hand with Divide by Zero. That'd be something. Nah, just a go blank. Pretty good though. It's not the Thoughtseize I was begging for, but it's still good. Maybe it gets them to Divide by Zero. Guess it would have been better last turn, but they would have just gone for the dig through time in response. Thinking about if they want to counter it or / bounce it. Just negate. Okay, that's fine. That allows them to still keep open Divide by Zero mana. Not the biggest fan of committing our Fable, mainly just because it gives them a connive, but I think we can afford that. Since we have double Fatal Push, Rending Volley, we'll probably just Rending Volley it. We have so many Revolt possibilities, and I want that draw too. Slash just discard 2. Are they going to counter it? They certainly could bounce it to hand, but I think these Divide by Zeros are a premium for them. Opponent's letting us catch up in clock. Appreciate them doing that. Okay, just events. They get their own Ledger Shredder trigger. I'll at least see what they learn and then I'll just push it. I'm going to yield until end step so we can conserve as much time as possible. No intention of attacking, no way to creativity for anything more than x equals 0. We could Fable, but I want those treasures. So I think it's just going to be push. Okay. That's not going to be too good for them since we're not going to have more cards than them. So now it says tier less. I guess that's only like as a safeguard. So if they had like a 2-drop and a 4-drop, it would give you the option of only targeting things that can actively kill. And it just doesn't say anything when you can just target something that won't kill it. Shredder. Again, if we draw a Thoughtseize, I think we just win on the spot. So definitely going to rectify that. And I don't want to cast anything this turn. The treasure tokens are as good on their turn as they are on our turn. Okay. Another land. I'm pleased enough with that. We'll try and push this first, so we don't give them a connive trigger if we Fable. And maybe it'll force them to do something that they don't want to do. Okay, they don't bite. Fine by me. Get rid of the single type lands first. We can still creativity for 2. If they like completely tapped out for some nonsensical reason. And we do have Cling active if this gets countered. They're bouncing it to hand again? Okay. Well, I'll see if they want to counter it another time. If all they do is just spend counter spells on Fable instead of Indomitable. Aethergust? Okay. I'll top that. I think it's better than our average draw. Still not swinging. Not worth just shocking them to, just to shock them, I guess. And we know 2 of their cards are, I mean, these aren't useless, but they don't stop creativity, which for me is the same as being useless. Try and land a Fable again. They seem very keen on not allowing us to resolve this, so maybe they'll counter it again, and then we can creativity and kill them. They certainly are dividing by 0. None of these cards are scary. I mean, Mascot Exhibition, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could do that and then not die to our... well, I guess it makes a blue and red one, so we could just do that. I'm going to try and land Fable one more time. Mainly because they've shown a propensity to try and counter this. Okay, they finally look to be out of counter spells, or at least they found something better to do with their time than play Bounce the Spell. And this does give him another draw, but it gives us 2 more looks at a good card. And maybe they'll tap out for Mascot Exhibition. Sciences, maybe? No. Teachings is just 3 mana draw card. Not very good. Oh, it doesn't do anything, actually. Yeah, that's right. I haven't seen this card very much. Okay, they just get some life, get a land. So this is just useless. Unless they want to add to their storm count. Maybe they have a Braid. I'm going to discard both of these not creativity cards. I'm going to go for Seize the Spoils. It's like pretty good counterbait. It's also just good for getting treasures. Okay, they don't bite. I think I'm just going to attack and then cycle. I really want Thoughtseize to protect us. Petty Theft, okay. That's fine by me. They would have been able to interfere with our creativity unless we did X equal 3, which we would probably have done. We have enough targets. So, mystery card, and then some stuff we don't care about. Brazen Bar, they can deal us 11 damage here. We do have Cling to Dust to draw a card. Been very good to us. And if all they do is haul, I think they're just dead. Mascot? That seems to be it. We'll cling the Divide by 0 because it's given us such a pain. None of these matter. Good enough for me. Okay. Probably cycle Light Step Pathway because Urborg's pretty good to us. Another creativity. Okay. Now, I don't believe we have lethal at the moment since they have 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, no, we do have lethal at the moment, assuming they don't have interaction. Gonna go for a creativity. X equal 3. They just de-stroke it, okay? Now we know the other cards in their hand are Teaching and Blank. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna do that, target that. They're out of mana and they're dead. Red, 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 red. Thirtium. So I'm going to fix my mistake after seeing just how many counterspells they have. We're going to go all in on counterspells, I think. They just put 0 threats down for the entirety of that game. I think Running Volley can get... Well, no, it's just good. It's just better than push in most cases here. So maybe I cut 2 push. Cling was so good. Can cut a Kiss. Probably cut the other Spoils, I think. Go Blank just got countered, but it's still a good card. I'm not cutting lands. I'm not cutting creativity. I'm not cutting the only win condition we run. I think these are fine. We definitely could be going too far in the other direction. And maybe want Seize instead of Vampire's Kiss, or instead of Dispute. Good enough for me. No black, but we need the red more. Yield. Wonder what 3-mana spell they might be holding open to counter our stuff. I'm not going to play into it. Okay, just to consider. Heck, we can even have him tap out Sekenzin and just kill him if things go our way. Glad to see that one. I'm going to just go for the Sekenzin. We have enough lands that we can just do that. Maybe they're careless. Please be careless. Please tap red, red, blue, blue, and don't have anything else. And just lose. Make me quite happy. Okay. Miss a land. Okay, so unless my calculations are wrong, they just lost the game. One, two. X equal 1, X equal 2, X is currently 2, okay. Boom. That was a pretty good one. Gotta say. Sekenzin's pretty good. So we kind of stumbled a bit in game 1, but we found our footing after a long game 2, and with an alley-oop, we won game 3. I think that's like the quickest we can win is like a turn 5 win. I guess we can win turn 4 if we have Fable maybe? No, I guess that is the earliest we can kill him. Unless I'm thinking about something differently. Regardless, that was great, and I'll see you for match 2. Alright, and we are back in it for match number 2 with a pretty good hand. Some interaction and creativity. No token producers, but we're going to have enough looks at it that I think... Well, I guess Sekenzin was a pretty good token producer. Can't discount that one. So, but we'll have enough looks that I think it's fine to play this as a tap land. Devotion? What for? Push isn't really much better than Prophecy. I mean, it's 1 mana, so maybe we just do the Prophecy here. Put back Valakut Awakening. I'm glad to get that one. At least Push can, like, maybe kill one of their 3-drops, but I don't want to. So I'm just hoping they have like kind of a weak turn and we seize the spoils and spoil their win. So I'm definitely hopeful. I haven't played a ton with this deck, if it's not obvious from my little bit looser play, but I'm very hopeful that this matchup is just a lot stronger for us, having 30 damage in 1 turn. Probably been a push. Okay, that's fine. We should have the kill next turn. Like, not our next turn, but I guess 1 turn cycle after. They can Karn downtick for Cage, and I'd be very concerned about that. They just kill a treasure. That's fine. It's annoying, but it's fine. We'll play red. We need more red. We can spoil, but we can't use the treasure token for it. So I'm probably going to do the Sekenzen play. Maybe catch him off guard. We do have triple red, yeah, just making sure. They should get Cage. If they're aware of what we're doing, they should get Cage. So if we hadn't discarded Fatal Push, we could have killed the Mystic and they wouldn't have been able to Karn. Maybe they just get greedy and go for Cavalier, but I think my opponent's probably a smart enough player that they'll get Cage, cast it, and lose because Indomitable Creativity doesn't care about Cage because it exiles them. It is definitely a benefit that Creativity has over Transmog because they just get a land. We can actually target that with Treasure, with Indomitable Creativity. We're not going to, but we can. Hopefully they just Cavalier. If they do that, they lose on the spot. We win. We still win. Well, let's not counter chickens before they hatch, because we could definitely draw one of our combo pieces, and then we'd be in a really bad spot. Okay, whew. I was getting a little concerned. X is 2. Okay. Red, red, red. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would like to enter win the game. And I would choose to... I could kill the Karn here. That's a good way to like get a little bit of my untapped anger out. But instead I'm going to just choose to win. And they got to see our entire deck barring 2 cards. It's kind of funny that World Spine Worm was so far down there. You can block like that if you'd like. You know what? Don't like this card. Hit you to 0. Okay. So after being a little rude to our opponent, let's think about our sideboard plan. Rending Volley, no. Thought Distortion, no. Go Blank, probably not, though we'll put that in the maybe category. Anger and Path basically hit the same creatures, that being Elves and, what's their name? Dryad. I forget what it's called. Sylvan Caryatid. So I guess the only real consideration would be which color do we care more about? I think we've got a pretty decent amount of both lands. We have pretty much an exact split. I think we just have like one more red source, and Urborg turns them all into black sources anyway, so we could do Path because that has some advantage as maybe cleaving for 6 mana if we get 1 treasure, which we definitely could get. I'll try it. It doesn't seem amazing. We might just be able to win through our own merits, but I don't think Cling is particularly amazing here. At least Rotten Reunion. Like, if we were going long, this would be better, but Rotten Reunion is just 3 mana, make 2 tokens. So I'll probably try Path. I think everything else can stay the same. I don't want to mess around with our combo stuff. Yeah, so much of it just should stay the same. The Fire Prophecy could be something else, but I'm going to try this. Maybe our matchup's good enough that I don't need to beat my head over trying to find the perfect ratio. Okay. We drew our Garnet. Our hand's really good aside from that. And we have a lot of ways to get it back on the bottom. Yeah, we kept them all in. It might just be not worth it. But I can cast it on turn 4. I'm gonna try it. The 2 fatal pushes give us so much time. This is not a good hand. Aside from everything except for Xenagos, basically. Okay, another fatal push. I think we have too many of those. Would love that 3rd land. Would love it to be Black Source and them to play Elf. All those things happen. Okay, so this is probably the, yep, Haven. Land, yes. I will certainly hold back on the Sekenzin, considering it has won us 2 games in a row just by being instant speed 2 tokens. Kiora? What do you have, opponent friend? Nope. Hey, you could always swing for 1 with Lair. That'd be a fun idea. Okay. That's dying. Okay. Not doing anything else with these pushes. They're here just for the Mystics and Llanowar Elves. Sad to commit the Sekenzin, but it's the right call. We did get a Valakut Awakening, which we'll probably use for its utility of putting that back on the bottom. Storm? Almost certainly. Yep. Unless they use Karn to grab Ensnaring Bridge from Modern, I feel like we can beat Karn a lot better than we can in the red-green Titan deck. Discard here. I think that's the only discard we want to do, because we're going to attack, make a treasure, they'll block, and we'll dispute it. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll do as I say. You know what? I'm going to make them block here. They are going to have more than 10 on defense after they do the Storm, almost certainly. Okay. Nothing else I really want to do here. I'll probably Valakut Awakening or Fire Prophecy end of turn. Kind of depends on what they put into play, but I have no reason to do this now. Heck, we could even cast it next turn. But I'm probably more likely to Valakut Awakening, since I would like to find the creativities we've got left. Clear that off. They have all the mana they could ever need. Let's see if they can do anything with it. Karn? Well, that's certainly one thing they can do with it. But I think they have to decide between Karn and Storm. Maybe they go for Karn hoping to... Well, I guess they could Storm hit, like, Nykthos or another land. And, Kiora. But it looks like they're just going for Karn here. Turns off our treasures, so we could have done it then, but... I don't know. Probably should have. Yeah, that was loose play for me. This card always bothers me so much. Do it while we can. Not feeling great about our prospects here. We're clipped on mana, and our spells cost a lot more. They'll just attack us for the extra 1, take us down to 8, and we'll lose next turn most likely. But of course we will play it out. Okay, we're going to the next one. I don't think we need to change anything about that. We just kind of made some less than optimal plays, and our opponent had a pretty good hand as well. Two of those worked together in tandem, and we lost. Yep, keep everything as is. Okay, well this one isn't even something I can humor. This one is one I can humor. We need a third land, but it's pretty fast hand, and we can guarantee this World Spine Worm goes to the bottom. We're light on interaction, and we definitely need a third land. Not a turn 1 dork. Very happy to see that. Thoughtseize, sure. It's not exactly what we were looking for, but it's good enough. Okay. They kept a decently strong hand. We could take the Karn. I think we do. They'll eventually get to Karn. I'd rather take their payoff than their acceleration. Really need that third land, though. Okay, we know what they drew. I'm kind of surprised they'd go for Elf here instead of Wolf Willow Haven. Doesn't seem that great. Whew, good. Fable. Makes 2 tokens instead of 1. Yeah, I'm trying to understand why they would go for the Elf instead of the Haven. I just don't really think I can understand that. Maybe it's because this needs to untap in order to get its mana off, but I still don't really get that. It's like borderline where that would ever be better. What'd they get? Old Growth Troll? Okay, so we have perfect knowledge of their hand. We'll probably do another dance with the Deadly Dispute. I don't think we need to discard anything. I feel like our hand is quite good here. Let's see, we attack, make a treasure, we can sack with these 2, and then we'll have another treasure, and then we can discard something we draw, play a land, we'll have 4 lands, treasure, and then our Fable will flip, and we can do it like that. Okay. Maybe we'll draw Urborg, who knows, but I don't really see a reason to commit the land here. They could hold open Besage You. That's kind of a scary thing for us. Push. That's fine. Well, we know their hand, so there's approximately a 0% reason to Go for the Thoughtseize here. I think I might even discard it here. So if we can't really play around Beseiju, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just going to turn a treasure into a treasure in 2 cards. I think I'll discard the Thoughtseize. They're just going to be playing off the top. Well, that's fine. And I think we, depending on how they play this, okay, they committed Nykthos. We can Rotten Reunion to make one of our tokens into, make one of our treasure tokens into a zombie, but then they can Beseiju the Fable, so it doesn't really matter. We're all artifacts and enchantments here. 6 mana. What did they draw? Just a Wolf Willow Haven, maybe? This costs 4, 5 to activate. Okay. If the opponent just goes to attack with the lair, I'm very okay with that. I think opponents weighing their options of dying on the spot, which is a respectable thing to think about. Or maybe they're just trying to count their mana, but I don't know what they would really need to count it for. They only have 1 non-land in hand. Okay, so they're just activating Lair. It's 5 damage. They're just going to be holding open Beseiju. So I think I'm going to kill this here. And then next turn I can Rotten Reunion one of the things, and then do another Rotten Reunion. This is all contingent upon us drawing a 5th land, though, unfortunately. I'm gonna do it. They're just so land, or they're just so, not land light, they're land heavy. And I want to keep them off of good things for a while. Would love a black source. We're definitely regretting putting this on the red side. I don't think I do anything here. No, I'm gonna go for it now. I need black more than I need reflection. Pretty good one. I think next turn, no, since we don't, we're definitely stuck on black. Yeah. I was gonna say next turn we could go for X = 3. We still might be able to. I think we're missing 1 mana though. Okay, 2 mana. Six mana. Wolf Willow, that's fine. I don't really care. Elf. Okay, we're back to knowing their entire hand. So this is always happening. I'm just going to go to end step. Make it a little quicker. And I think I might have an opportunity to kill them. I go for Rotten Reunion, target lair, flash it back. I'll have 2 creatures, Beseiju. Yeah, these are not artifact creatures. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. We win. I hate Karn more than I hate any other card in this deck. Make it now. Okay, we didn't draw one of our 2 bricks. Target 1, target 2. X is equal to, okay. Red, 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 red. Nykthos Beseiju, red. Could have even Thoughtseize them. Don't need to, but I could have. Go to declare them dead. Unfortunately, they will not go to -10. Looks like they're only going to go to a -9. Not going to get fancy with them. They don't deserve any of that. So, another pretty good showing for, I guess we'd call it creativity combo. And I guess I'll see you in match number 3. Okay, so we are back for match 3 with our creativity combo kill deck. And this is a perfectly serviceable hand. Probably Crypt Tomb Ridge Spoils. Low on interaction, but I don't like throwing back creativity since we only run 4. Okay, looks like another devotion. Maybe this hand is too slow. Play that now. No real reason to play Tomb of Yawgmoth, actually. Whew. They're going fast. These ridges are haunted. I don't need a second creativity. No, I can't push. Need that token. Actually need a second access to a token still. Okay, just Cavalier's fine. That's never the concerning creature versus us. Okay, they completely missed. Don't feel bad for them. Just Oath. Another Cavalier. Okay, if they're not cautious, maybe we can still kill him. So Kenzin. Okay. Well, we do have all our tokens now. I think I'll push Dispute. No, I Sekenzin here, and then we'll have 5 mana, so I can still push like that, and Sekenzin, then we'll have 5. Yeah. Oops. I can't even do what I say I'm gonna do. We can also Prophecy. No, we can't. It has to just be push if we're going for Sekenzin line, which I do want to do. It's like a very late push, but maybe they'll be a little choked on mana. I need to be sure I don't yield past the Karn and just lose the game because of it. It'd suck. But hopefully they just like Cavalier, swing with the Cavalier, and die on the spot. That'd be very funny. I would enjoy that. Mana neutral, devotion positive. Okay. There's no way they can get Karn, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna yield through turn. Maybe that'll incentivize them to go to attacks. No Karn possible. Elf. This deck is really sneaky. I'm used to like doing sneaky nonsense with Titan discarding stuff at like end of turn and untapping and killing them, but I have gotten so many kills with this already in this league. Just they're not careful, and then they die. Jeez, this is awesome. Yeah, nothing else to say about that. Goodbye, Cling. Hello, Path. Run it back. And they can't side, so we don't even have to skip ahead. I mean, they could decide, they're just not gonna. This is good enough. Probably. But we do have the only card that ever mattered. Sekenzin. But we don't have any interaction whatsoever. We're only around 4. But it is 4 1 mana and then more 2 manas. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep this one. I think it's just got a really good 2-3-4 curve. And we've got quite a few looks to get ourselves into a World Spine win. They're down to 5. Trying to get their turn 1, Mana Dork, of course. Second Fable is not great, not bad. I mean, it's a card. Old Growth Troll. Might as well commit the Swamp here. Get in for that very constructed playable card in Vampire's Kiss, which I love cards like this where they seem to just be limited card support, and by and large they are just like limited cards, but they find their way into a standard or a Pioneer deck in this case, kind of like Kerr's Briefcase. That's definitely a very limited oriented card, and yet it's a part of our deck, and I love it. Well, I don't love drawing all these Fables, but at least they all cantrip. Hoping not to see a Karn. Expecting to see a Karn, though. Just a Cavalier. They get a Nykthos. Okay. It's not great. I'll discard 2, try and get to Fire Prophecy specifically. We'll probably Deadly Dispute Dance with the Shaman token. They're getting pretty close to hurting us. Yep. Let's think about this one. If they swing all out and take us down to 3, let's say we play this untapped, we'd go down to 1. That's not great. What if we didn't? We could do 1, 2. We'd have enough mana for the kill. And if they don't put any creatures into play and don't attack with anything, we can still kill them, since we'll just deal the trample and then Fire Prophecy, and we'll have enough mana on our turn, I believe, to do that. I could also just play Sekenzin untapped. I think I'm going to just do that. It's a good middle ground play. Cure. 1 card left in hand. Looks to be a very good card left in hand. Maybe it's just Wolf Willowhaven. But probably Karn. That's really bad. For a five card hand, they certainly have had a lot of good stuff. And there's no reason to really crack a treasure since I played it like that. Chainveil? Okay. What else did you have in mind? I'm killing now. Trim off exactly one devotion. And I can yield through the turn. So we're in a pretty bad spot when they get statue. Yeah, Karn statue is just kind of gross. Just didn't expect them to have it, so I didn't go for the Thoughtseize. No, there's no way we get back in this. Yeah, I'm just gonna save us some time. Well, Karn statue, I guess, is the way they win. No change. What are they thinking about? They can't sideboard. Apparently they had more to think about. I'll go first. Perfectly serviceable hand, because we're going first. All our removal is actually live. I'll keep. We don't have anything for the first token yet, but we've got quite a few draws to get there. Mull to 6. They're always looking for that turn 1 elf, I feel like. Having played the deck myself, that's what I normally do. Turn 1 elf, 1 or 2 lands, top end in Karn, or Cav or Storm. And then win. Obligate tap land. Plus we don't need to anyway. Very nice to see that one. I think we might have enough black to do this on this side. Yeah. I could put back the Valakut Awakening. I need to find a token producer, so maybe we just get rid of the Deadly Dispute since it doesn't produce a token. No comment. Haven. Not something we can interact with. Probably gonna go for a Valakut Awakening. Try and find ourselves some token producers. Might just bin the whole 4. Or the 3, rather. Karn looking like. Okay. Please get Cage. Just a vault. Always going back. Always going back. I guess I'll throw it back. Get 4. Cool. Pretty good. Bunch of cards. And once again, I am very punished for playing this on red. What can they do for 5 mana? from Karn. I don't think they can do anything too scary. So I'm probably going to just try and go for a Rotten Reunion and win plan. They don't have any real devotion. I'm going to check the sideboard real quick. They vary a lot, but I want to see what the worst thing that could happen would be. I didn't see anything that was like too scary. So we'll probably just double Robbie Rotten them end of turn. Well, one them, one us. And hope that they don't have some magical 5-drop artifact that wins them the game. Because I don't think they can do any combo nonsense. They can gain 4 life if they get the Resto Blast. Okay, that's what they're starting with. Guess we'll see if this was a really bad decision in a second. Or Resto Burst, not Resto Blast. Looks like they're also thinking about what they can get here. Statue. They can't cast Statue here. There's no way. Troll. In the dungeon. Elf. And we get it. Looks like they were just 1 turn too slow. Pay black. Exile. Target Fire Prophecy. Exile. My turn. Red, red, red. Win the game. X equal 2. Neat. Well, looking like we might have a pretty good devotion matchup. Godfair Statue sucks, but it's a lot better for us to lose to a 6-drop artifact than a 1-drop artifact / just lose to devotion based on devotion doing their normal plan and have to rely pretty heavily on a sideboard plan that can still be countered by their main deck strategy. But no, that's great. I liked this matchup, and I will see you in match 4. All right, so we are back in match number 4 of our Indomitable Creativity combo deck after taking down another Devotion player in a row. Good enough for me. We got early interaction. Seize the Spoils is quite good. I will keep, and we have enough lands. Not hurting for that. Urborg is nice since it allows us to not ruin our lives by playing the wrong side, since we get to play both sides with Urborg. What are we running into? Hate this card. Okay, maybe Rakdos. Probably Rakdos mid-range if I had to guess. We can play everything untapped for the rest of the game, so I will, but I don't want to put out the Urborg just yet. Might unlock some cards that we don't want them to have. They probably think we're just another Rakdos mid-range deck. Boy, are they going to be in for a surprise when they thought seize our combo pieces away and we lose. But at least we have a pretty decent value mid-range plan. Eska's Chariot is like a 1-card value engine in itself in the Titan deck, but Spoils and Dispute are still pretty good into a grind, and our interaction lines up acceptably well into them. Cling to Dust might be pretty great here. It can just get exiled by a Trespasser. And we'll discard a Pathway. Jig is up, opponent. You gotta go quick. And not having to target creatures with Transmogrify is a pretty big advantage into something like this, where with Transmog we're always in fear of a fatal push, shock effects, etc., etc. Whereas with this, we can just target our treasure tokens, which, aside from like an Abrade, doesn't really matter. They just stomp us, realizing, hey, this guy only runs 1 or 2 creatures. Why would I not? Fable, not worth the fatal push. Not when we need this treasure. And we can fire Prophecy it anyway, and probably will. Okay. I can commit Valakut Awakening to the field, but I think I want to Cling Prophecy. I don't really need Urborg yet. I'm not gonna like fix their mana by any means. It's just Haunted Ridge and Urborg are currently identical, since this would be a black land and turn this into a black-red land, and currently we just played a black-red land and had this red land, and I think we need a equal number of them, so it doesn't really matter. And we can cling whatever they put in grave. This is great for Kroxa, since we have a tough time versus that. Well, not for another couple turns at least, though we have to be careful since... I'll kill it now. I think I go for the Prophecy. Put back Urborg. We'll have 2 more draws, plus our natural draw. Rotten Reunion. That's actually way better, since Cling is better used on not creatures. Chandra, kind of frightening prospect, since it does represent a clock that we would like to not deal with. Thinking about mana, just top card, Bone Crusher Boy. He's in exile, but he can't cast it from exile. We'll Cling. And then probably just gonna Rotten Reunion. Thoughtseize. We need to draw exactly Creativity and land in the same draw, so not very likely that we do that. So I'll probably just Cling again on our Seize the Spoils, and we can always Rotten Reunion later, just because they have kill spells that I don't like dealing with. Fable's pretty good. Helps us dig a little more for our creativity. Get some seizing going. I'll take the Trespasser. We can still hold open Rotten Reunion with our treasure if they somehow manage to get Kroxa to be a threat here, which there's like very little chance of that happening, but it still is nice to have that solace. So their hand is Dreadbore, Sekenzin, Push. And they've also got that. And then we've got 3 more looks at winning the game on the spot. Invoke Despair. That does certainly invoke a little bit of despair, except for the not playing enough sources for it to matter. Or enough black sources, because they need 4. Just a Bone Crusher Giant. Are you just going to hold back on the Sekenzin? I know you have it. Okay. So, I know their entire hand. We're not taking any damage, and there's no reason to go for anything here. I will discard Push and Awakening. Was really hoping to draw Creativity there. Play it on the black side. Probably gonna do the drain. Make some guys, and then make some guys with Fable. Gives us a little life. Yeah, I want the draw more than I want the Cling to Dust flashback. This will die to Dreadbore most likely, and Chandra ults next turn. But we can attack Chandra with our Rotten Reunion token if we absolutely need to, and they like tap out or whatever nonsense goes on in them. But they also have Hive and Sekenzin that they can hold, Takenuma. Maybe they'll get the lair going, but they can't Dreadbore if they do that. Okay. So they don't have Sekenzin available because that is a tap land. I'm just going to yield to end a turn. I will probably cycle end a turn since we have enough tokens. We're a little low on life here. Not Creativity. Notably not Creativity. Notably not Creativity. Feel like a broken record. Sometimes in Magic, you have to play a very skillful game. This is not one of those times. We know their last card is Sekenzin, and we know that they're dead. We did have a lot of looks, but it does feel kind of like a scam going on there. But nothing I would rather do than scam an opponent. Go blanks definitely come in. We can break parity with that. Nothing else that's amazing. Anger's good. It's probably better than Fire Prophecy. This whole row is pretty good. Maybe I can cut the Fatal Push actually down to 2. I definitely am keeping Dispute. Go blank, Fable, Spoils, Valakut, Creativity. Very concise list. Have to applaud whoever designed it. Probably a Prophecy. We'll still have 7 redraw cards. And we only run 2 bricks. And we can just discard World Spine Worm, so only 1 bricks. Don't need Duress here, I don't think. Running Volley's not useful. Path of Peril has marginal use, but their 3-drops are what we care about. Anger, again, still good. But I think we're fine with what we've got going on here. And it looks like our opponent had a pretty quick plan. So, we will see what we can do. Fine with me. We've got early interaction, put back, but we'll probably use this as the turn 1 land. And yeah, we got card draw interaction, tokens. They're at 6. No turn 1 Thoughtseize. Fine with that. Our hand's not like amazing to the point where a Thoughtseize just ruins us. Yeah, I think I'll put this one out there. I'm not going to play too much into us drawing our 1 of 60. Blood Tithe Harvester. That guy's getting himself pushed. But not this second. And that's why. Immediately punished, as is the law. Probably need the black more here. We have so many red sources. Oh, shoot, I forgot the Urborg. That's another misplay of mine. Add it to the list. Another Seize Dispose is good. Makes a treasure token. Need to get that Xenagos out, especially since we put our Stomping Ground in the grave, but I think that's fine. And I don't think we need a Rotten Reunion right now. I want this treasure token. Not even doing the Stomp Half. I guess they've identified they have to go quick. I don't want this to flip. It's functionally identical. If we tapped properly, it would be functionally identical. We'll discard a Blood Crypt here. We can dispute, which we probably will. Looking for one of our 6 remaining putbacks. I'm gonna eat what they target. Doesn't matter a whole lot if they kill it. We've already got enough tokens, and we'll just flash it back with Rotten Reunion anyway. We can't block with a Decayed token. So. What you got for me, opponent? Harvester, showing a lethal attack next turn. But we do have Skenzen. I have to hold it open. We'll still get a redraw with Deadly Dispute when we sack a treasure and sack the Skenzen token, assuming we're not just losing here, which is absolutely a possibility. They dig and dig. They'll probably eat rotten whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, I won't contest that. They have 2 removal spells. Well, we're losing, but we're already not super favored. Show me the second. Stomp? A braid? Okay. Well, we're losing here, unfortunately. Nope, that doesn't save me. We would have won if we'd untapped, I think. Because we do 1, 2, 3, land, 1, 2. Oh, maybe we wouldn't have won. Who knows? No point in thinking about that any longer. We'll go to the next game. No changes needed. Maybe I cut the other two Fatal Push. They're just not good, by and large. But what do I bring in for him? Fire Prophecy, Anger. I do think Anger is pretty good. We don't have as much board presence as Red-Green Titan does, so I think it's better. And we'll bin the Prophecy again. We haven't drawn into Worldspine Worm as our brick, really, for any of our hands. It's just so much easier to put back. Not like I want to draw into it. See, it's another Xenagos. It's a good hand aside from Xenagos, but if they discard it, we just die. So we're going to not do that. Perfectly good hand. Keep, put back. Probably go blank. I want the redraws and the tokens from Vampire's Kiss, and Anger is just so good, and then Fable is Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I mean, it's an amazing card. Thoughtseize, okay. They'll probably take that Fable. Maybe the Kiss. I would be more sad if they took the Fable. Okay. And I definitely understand why they'd make that play. It's two parts that are very uninteractable for them. And they just have another Thoughtseize effect anyway, so why does it matter? They should take Fable here now. Okay. We're not putting out the Haunted Ridge. We're looking for our spoils now. I'll take a redraw, probably. Okay. Cycled past one land. And I want to hold on to the Anger for once they start putting out their 3-drops, which I'll die to it. Looking for Sekenzen, spoils. Those two mainly. Harvester, that's fine, I don't care. Thoughtseize, I do care about that one. That might get us out of this mess. I'll start clinging now. It's not a bad draw. We play a little bit more into their Graveyard Trespasser, but if we drew Fable or any number of other cards, that was just so much better. Just take the hit. Another Harvester. Really bad draw. We have enough lands. We're just needing more stuff. I would love if they like Croxed me or something. That'd be fun. Would not complain even one bit. But we're on a 2-turn clock. We need like Anger or pretty much just Anger if we're trying to get back into this. We lose, but we'll at least take a gander at what we were going to lose to. Pretty sad loss. But that's how it goes sometimes. I will see you in the final match. Alright, so after a pretty close loss to Rakdos midrange, we are back in our 5th and final match with our Creativity combo deck. This is kind of a scary hand since we've got 2 tap lands, but we do have some good interaction. Turn 3, if they have anything, we can Fire Prophecy, but most importantly, we have Creativity, so I'm going to keep. Looks like we are probably going to put Haunted Ridge down first. We need the black source more. Fatal Push is quite good into a deck that only runs 2-drops and below, even if they got protection. They're all 2-drops. And Fire Prophecy's fine. It's just you can't beat the push into this matchup. Well, unless it had split second, so they couldn't get protection. Maybe they'll just plop down the double striker. Nope, just a hoplite. Field the turn. We've just tapped out. Okay, they're feeling a little courageous. Okay, so if we'd played this, we would still probably be playing that. Wouldn't really change much. Push. Push off. And there was no way to Fire Prophecy that, which would have been a little bit more efficient, since it's not like a great card in most positions. They're really all in. I mean, we're definitely pushing here. Probably push Cling for redraw. But we can also hold Open Prophecy. They gotta be running low on creatures. I mean, yeah, it looks like they are. Cling the Rampage. Another Fable. Perfectly reasonable thing to draw. What do you have in my upkeep, opponent? Oh, okay. They are allowed to do that during my upkeep. In fact, they're allowed to do it at any time, as per Rule 104.3a. Volley's incredible here. Path of Peril. I think this is probably the matchup in mind when the guy created the deck, since it eats everything and gets around protection. Could probably cut Thought Seizes, since I don't really like taking a card that would give them 2 damage and taking 2 damage. Doesn't really seem that amazing. Obviously, it's a little more complicated than that, but I just want to conserve my life total. Anger's meh, but it's fine. And Cling was okay there. I'll keep 1 Cling in, and maybe cut a Dispute. Keep the combo intact. Path is going to do a lot of good. Pushes are great. Running volleys are great. Run it back. But yeah, we just exhausted them of good cards. Yeah, this is a keepable hand. We don't have a black source until turn 2. But I think it's perfectly reasonable. Maybe they'll just be too fast for us and we'll lose. Very happy to see that one. Commit. It's gonna have to come in tapped if we want it before turn 3, and I do want it before turn 3. What do you do? Yeah, they need the white. If they even want to try and bluff protection, I can just yield. I don't have to bluff anything either when I'm tapped out. I don't think they were very afraid of Solitude from us, considering we would probably get banned for playing illegal cards. Okay, they can't have protection anymore. That's quite good. I'm just going to push now. Now, what do I commit here? It's either Stomping Ground or Valakut Awakening. I don't think I need Rending Volley, like, next turn. Or, sorry, on their turn. Because we'll have 3 mana for Vampire's Kiss anyway. And we don't really need any redraws, but we might. So, I think I'm going to put this down. We're in such a good spot that I would hate to lose just because we draw Xenagos specifically. Okay. They certainly could have protection. We'll drain a little bit off of them. Can at least yield before I think about this. When do I want to commit it? I think I'd rather do it on their upkeep. Sure, they get another look, but I don't want to do it in their draw step, and this makes them use as much mana as possible. Mainly like the Scry is what I'm talking about there. But this is not an offensive spell, so it's 1 mana they would have had to use, or wouldn't have had to use if we did it in our turn. We can kiss them again, play Valakut Awakening, cycle Rotten Reunion, and then go from there. And this also does turn off their Invigorated Rampage style spells. I think that's the only red one that they can really use here, since we don't have the creatures needed for them to do the Reckless Rampage. And they scry to the bottom. two red lands and a white land. Can feel a little bit less. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Can feel a little bit less smug when they play the white source. I don't even know if I need to go for Vampire's Kiss here. Because by not doing it, I can dig for push a little bit easier and still have Rotten Reunion. But we're just taking 8. This is always getting played. Assuming we draw another land, we can just win next turn. This is tough. If I go for Kiss, we might just die. In fact, we definitely die if we just go for Kiss here. I think we're just not winning this anyways, but if we go for Kiss, yeah, they definitely have another non-creature, or non-land, I mean. So I think we'll upkeep, go for our nonsense. Dig for push or volley. We didn't get it, but, you know, they don't know that. Legionnaire. If they target the Legionnaire, if they have Protection Spell, we would always lose here, no matter what. This is my best bet. Sejiri Shelter. Dang. Next game. I don't think we need to make any changes. Seems like a very play-draw dependent game. We could bring in the Thought Seizes to just hopefully like ruin all of the creatures they've got, but I like our 4 push, 3 volley, 3 path. I think that'll be enough to stop them from doing what they want to do. Alright, let's see if we can convert this into a 4-1. Is this a hand that can get there? It certainly is. We have Vampire's Kiss and Dispute to get to our get our tokens on field. We have Rending Volley as interaction, and our land situation cooperates. We have Fable to redraw. I don't think we can, in good conscience, put this back. Play that. Sorry, opponent, let me take that. Kiss him. Gain a nice cool 2 life. And if they just tap out for the 10th District Legionnaire, I feel good. Adanto Vanguard, it's kind of scary. But it would be even more scary if it had, like, you know, double strike and connived, which it doesn't. These each are 2 draws, but at least this blocks the Adanto Vanguard. I think I'm going to commit here. If they don't kill it, we can just Deadly Dispute it. I really do wonder if they kept in their Reckless Rampages or whatever, the name of the 1-drop that deals 2 to their creature and 4 to my creature. Because, like, we don't run any creatures that they care about. Probably, I don't know. Looks like they have it here. Reckless Rage, that's what it's called. I am very surprised that they brought that in. At least their clock isn't proving to be too quick, and they did tap out. We're always discarding this Crypt. I think that's the only one we discard. This does give Indestructible. I think we're just going to go for the Fire Prophecy here, bending nothing. So we should Dispute first. And that's why. Bottom that guy. I was just thinking about what would happen if we drew that Xenagos. Gosh, that sucks so bad. Wow, that's just terrible. That might lose us the match. I'm very hopeful that they just like commit too much to the board. Yeah, this doesn't even tap it until end of turn. We do have the mana to just play Xenagos. If we draw Creativity, I probably will just do that. Push. It's fine. Well, I can make him pay 12 life. It's not going to do much, but... it's an option I have. I'm going to just path to clear that, since I want to be able to hold open both of these. It's not very efficient, I'll tell you that much. They'd be at 2. I'm thinking about if we play Xenagos next turn and try and kill that twice. So maybe they shock and just die to it. Who knows? Reckless Rage. It's not a good sign. Why do you keep that in? It doesn't make any sense. But it's certainly working out in their benefit. Take another hit. Showdown? That's fine. Don't really care about that. It's not going to be what wins or loses us the game. What do we need to win here? I don't know if we have a win. Maybe another removal spell for the Adanto Vanguard. Let me see what they've got in exile first. I think we're not making it through this one, unfortunately. Heartbreaking to draw that Xenagos and World Spineworm. Well, we have to go for it. I think we always lose here. Okay, yeah, we lose. That's unfortunate. But I feel like that was still a good showing for the deck. Would have liked to have gotten a 5-0 or a 4-1, but 3-2 is not bad. I think the deck performed pretty well. And I don't know. We drew Xenagos probably higher percentage of time than we should. But that's fine. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.